Thank you very much for joining me. I'm meteorologist Brian Shields, and the overall good news from the last 4 days has continued right on track from what we've been talking about together. We have one strong tropical wave moving through the Caribbean. I am not seeing any immediate signs of development out of that area. It is holding from yesterday. That is some good news. On the flip side, of course, some of us are going to deal with some really heavy rain and flooding, watching parts of the Gulf, some areas of rain and storms. Nothing organized, though, which is excellent. We're at the peak of hurricane season. I'll get into that in a moment, and we're not seeing any named systems out there right now. Here's that cluster of rain and storms. Now, it's a tropical wave, tropical disturbance, so it's not one big organized area of rain. So as this continues to work its way toward the west, some of us will get some rain, others may not. But if you do get some rain, we're talking about those downpours, mudslides will be possible. And as this area right here works its way toward the western Caribbean, there is still a slight chance of development. Chance of development not too high at this point, but we're still watching it. I'll swing over toward Belize, the Yucatan, Honduras in just a second. But some scattered areas of rain and storms have been near the Cayman Islands, Jamaica, eastern Cuba. On the south side of Haiti and the Dominican Republic, as expected, we'll see that chance of scattered showers and storms for today. Now out here, other tropical waves. This time of year, as we work our way into September, usually there are these big tropical waves that at least some develop. Right now, watching one spot kind of here, not so much this area. That's just a cluster of rain and storms. This area may try to develop a little bit, but I'm seeing no signs of big development out of these. Well, what the heck is going on? As I always talk about, yeah, the water temperatures are warm. We hear a whole lot about these water temperatures. Every summer, the water temperatures are warm enough for development. That's just one ingredient. The other ingredients are what's going on above our heads. And there's so many ingredients to have these things kind of develop into tropical storms and hurricanes. But there's been a lot of dry air, this orange shading we're seeing in here. So as these kind of come off, they just run into this dry air and it sucks out the moisture. There's not a lot of available moisture over the open waters of the Atlantic. That is some excellent news, and that's why over the last couple weeks and over the next few weeks, we may not see many named systems. So excellent news to pass along. With that said, it just takes one hurricane, as we know, to cause a historic damage or just a major damage. We saw that with Beryl. So in the short term, this holding from what I've showed you over the last 2 to 3 days, I've shown you this kind of working its way off toward the west, not as a named system, not as a tropical storm at this point, just a tropical disturbance, tropical wave making its way toward the Yucatan of Mexico, Belize and Honduras with some extra rain. At this point, there's a slight chance of some development this weekend, and then even eventually as it moves into the Bay of Campeche, that's a wait and see. The environment is not ripe for things to develop too quickly, so we will take it. Now, a zoom down look at the immediate concern as this passes by. Here's Jamaica. Some of us, this is going to be hit or miss. May not get a lot of rain, or we may get a 10 to 25 millimeters of rain if you get a passing shower or storm. But you see this core of the rain here, south side, Kingston, for example, Morant Bay. This in here over the next couple of days would be over 100 millimeters of rain or 4 inches of rain. Now, if this is a little bit more to the south, which it could be, we wouldn't get a whole lot. If this is a little bit more to the north, we'd see a higher risk of flooding. It's a wait and see. I showed you how it's a broken kind of area of rain and storm. So just a heads up, we have that chance of some flooding in Jamaica, even watching back toward the Cayman Islands. That's what I'm watching initially. Secondly, this is what I'm watching. Mexico, the Yucatan, back through Belize and Honduras. We are still in monitor mode just to watch out for any signs of development as this moves in. As I mentioned, I'm not seeing that at this point, but there is a chance it could spin up a little bit further. But at the least, as this tropical disturbance moves in, it's a pretty healthy tropical disturbance, that would bring us some additional rain and some gusty winds at times. I'll get into the wind outlook in a moment. So we're in monitor mode. That means we're not taking action or anything like that. We don't have a major hurricane headed toward us. We're just staying aware. I don't want anyone to waste time, resources, or have extra anxiety. Of course, this time of year is a very high anxiety time of year anyway. Now, the ICON model is still trying to make this a tropical storm somewhere near the Yucatan Peninsula. The American model and the European model are not even seeing this becoming a tropical storm at this point. Excellent news. The Canadian model does have this spin up into a tropical storm, especially back toward the Bay of Campeche and western Gulf of Mexico. A wait and see on that. We've seen this not develop at all. So again, a wait and see if there's going to be any development. Here's the big picture, then I'll zoom down into the Caribbean Caribbean very specifically, watching rain and storms in the Gulf. This is the cluster of rain and storms we're watching initially, and I wanted to give you the wide picture since we're deep into the hurricane season now to show you these areas. Yes, I'm watching this spot here and this spot here, but not seeing development. So if you're in Antigua and Barbuda, Anguilla, St. Kitts and Nevis, and we're watching off toward the east, seeing these may be catching your attention, but I'm not seeing development. But here, as we work our way into Friday afternoon, so a couple days from now, there's the heavier rain. That's why we're in monitor mode. Yes, a slight chance it spins up into a tropical depression or tropical storm. Tropical depression is less than a tropical storm, but at the least, this rain will be working in. This is on Saturday, and then you see those couple areas in the Atlantic, but nothing looking too aggressive. That is good. And then you see here, by the time we get into Sunday, there is a chance the water in the Bay of Campeche is very warm. We saw a couple systems, Alberto and Chris, kind of develop in that area earlier in the season. So just seeing this moisture, we'll see if this develops into a tropical storm in the Western Gulf as that pushes off toward the west. Let me take you way out in time a week from now. This is by the time we get into next Wednesday, watching this area here. And then you see here in the open waters of the Atlantic, I mentioned those tropical disturbances that kind of come off the coast of Africa, the tropical waves. They run into the dry air. So if this holds, this would be excellent because this almost brings us into the middle of September. If we could get into the middle of September over the next week or so with no additional named storm, that would be huge as we eat away at the heart of a hurricane season. Now, we get a look at the winds. They are going to be a bit gusty. I mentioned the possibility of flooding. It's going to be hit or miss, but the possibility of flooding and some gusty winds, some white showing up here. That means we could have some of the winds over 50 kilometers an hour, some of the gust over 40 miles per hour. That will be possible as this area moves in. But there's no real, this is tomorrow, and let me bring you into Friday. There's not a big circulation. The American model still hints at trying to spin up, but then this area runs into land, so it loses its fuel source, which would be the water. There's that area here. I'll keep an eye on that, extreme northeastern Caribbean, to see if anything does spin up, but not seeing prospects of that. And then just seeing some of the areas of some gusty winds at times with these tropical waves sliding by. And this is the area we'll be watching on Saturday to see if it does try to develop some as it works its way over toward the Bay of Campeche as we get into the weekend. Here's the closer look though. So we have this tropical wave, and here we are in Jamaica, here we are in Haiti, Cayman Islands. You see how close the rain is. We've seen sometimes this year we either get flooded or the rain stays just to the south. So it'll be a close call on that, but we've been watching this in Jamaica for days and days. This here is Thursday, so this is tomorrow afternoon. The rain will pick up in Honduras. We'll be seeing if this does try to kind of form a little bit more Thursday into Friday. Then on Friday, it starts to bring us some of the rain, especially back toward Belize and the Yucatan Peninsula. We'll see that rain chance getting higher, watching out for the possibility of some flooding. There's that second area back behind it. This here, though, on Friday, the biggest concern in the short term would be any mudslides or some flooding, enhancing the rain in Central America. And it really enhances the rain as a whole, even down through Costa Rica and Panama, kind of just a broad area of increased rain. And that means throughout much of Central America, that flood threat will be significantly higher as we work our way into late this week, and in particular as we get into early in the weekend. That also corresponds with the higher seas. I'll get into the rain in a moment. Here are the meters. This is meters. Here's feet on your screen. Things are going to be choppy. A little yellow popping up, about 3 meters. So that would be upwards of about almost 10 feet in some locations. And it stays choppy as we work our way throughout the rest of the week. Central and Western Caribbean. I'm watching the Atlantic waters too with that other disturbance back behind it. And then you see this spot here by the time we get into Friday. This is Friday, approaching the Yucatan choppier seas, and then we'll see the seas building in the western Gulf of Mexico and the Bay of Campeche once we work our way into a Saturday as that tropical wave moves across. Now I talk about kind of eating at the heart of hurricane season. Each day, if we could get past each day without a named system, that is awesome, because the peak of the season right here, that is September 10th. Now, there is a long way to go. Usually it's very active through at least mid-October, and then it starts to shut down some, but we'll wait and see on that. So yes, a long way to go, but I like the good news in this. I don't have a name system out there right now. That is awesome. Next name on the list is Francine. Now, watching some of the rain, I zoom down toward Jamaica. We'll see how close some of this rain gets. Most of the heavy rain just south of Haiti and the DR. The Bahamas, yes, we still have some rain around, but we're better than the last couple of days. Keep me posted in the comments. But still that chance of some showers and storms grazing the southern end of the Dominican Republic and Haiti. Passing shower storm in Anguilla, St. Martin, down toward Guadeloupe, watching the British and U.S. Virgin Islands. And I'll be watching that moisture offshore right right now, not seeing that spinning up into any sort of tropical storm. And we're going to be a little drier, trending drier. St. Vincent the Grenadines, Grenada, for example, Barbados, St. Lucia, Trinidad, yes, some passing showers, but the rain chance not too terribly high. Venezuela, Guyana, and Suriname, some scattered showers and storms. This here is a problem. This is the moisture with the tropical wave moving in, especially by Friday into Saturday. So again, please spread the word about this. Parts of the Yucatan, Belize, and really Central America. That means some of those dangerous river crossings, right? And it's going to be tricky because some spots will stay dry while others are getting dumped on with these tropical downpours. So it's not going to be for all of us, but those rivers could really make a climb the next few days with some totals over the next 3 days, upwards of 100 millimeters of rain or higher. That's 4 inches of rain or more. And then we'll add on to that as well Saturday into Sunday and around Mexico City, Mexico proper, we've seen that higher rain chance. So scattered about in Jamaica, but the rain chance bumping up tomorrow and Friday, right as expected. Rain chance will be a little elevated. Cayman Islands, most of the heavy rain with the tropical wave stays to the south. And you see how the rain chance has gone down, a 30% chance in Trinidad and Tobago. We're looking at a 30% chance in Barbados, bit higher tomorrow, slightly better chance, just a 30 to 40% chance the next couple of days in St. Lucia, and only a 20 to 30% chance in Grenada. So southeastern Caribbean, St. Vincent and the Grenadines included, that rain chance has gone down behind that tropical wave. Martinique, only a 20% chance, and a 20 to 30% chance in Dominica will be up to about a 40% chance by the time we get into Friday. Guadeloupe, 20 to 30% chance. Now, we work our way toward Antigua and Barbuda tomorrow and Friday, a slightly higher chance, no washout, but we could get a few scattered showers, a 40% chance. Same thing, St. Kitts and Nevis and Montserrat, 30 to 40% chance the next few days, Anguilla and St. Bart's. Rain chance 20% today in St. Martin, Saba, and Statia. That's all mainly dry, about a 40 to 50% chance back through Puerto Rico, a 30% chance the next couple days over towards St. Thomas, Tortola, St. Croix, Bahamas, rain chance 40%, still favoring near Freeport and New Providence. Rain chance next to nothing today, Turks and Caicos, but it does bump up a little bit for our Thursday. 40% chance mainly south side on the Dominican Republic, and our south side may get brushed by a few showers as we work our way back toward Haiti, and it will be hot. Rain chance on Belize, at least to start 50%. It may be as high as 80% though. Again, I've been highlighting Belize, the Yucatan and Honduras, and the rest of Central America for that higher chance of rain that will bump up on Friday. Aruba, Curacao, Bonaire, it'd only be a stray chance of a shower. See that rain chance is on the relatively low side, and just a 30% chance in Guyana, and even lower chance in Suriname today, a 20% chance. Some scattered showers and storms possible, about a 40-50% chance across Cuba, but Costa Rica and Panama, rain chance is going to stay elevated, watching out for some flooding. Rain chance will stay on the higher side in Nicaragua. And then as we work our way back toward Honduras, like Belize, the rain chance Friday and then deeper into the day Friday night and Saturday. That's when we'll see a more substantial flood threat. And we'll be watching out for that flood threat. Guatemala and El Salvador. Be mindful of the rivers and the mudslide potential. Same thing as we get toward Mexico City. Rain chance about 60 to 70%, 50% the next couple of days in the Yucatan. But Friday into Saturday, that rain chance will be higher, especially on Saturday over toward Merida. We get back toward Cancun and Cozumel. 30 to 40% chance northern Colombia, 30 to 40% chance in northern Venezuela, and the rain chance a little higher in Bermuda. We're seeing these systems coming off the U.S. giving us a better chance of rain, especially tomorrow. So the strong tropical wave moves to the west. Some eventual development will be possible, but fortunately it has not developed as of yet. The dry air, that has been the wrinkle, that has been a good wrinkle for this hurricane season. A lot of dry and stable air out there in the Atlantic, but continuing to monitor these tropical waves in the Atlantic, we know how things can develop rather quickly. September on average gets 7 named storms, so the fact that we've got nothing brewing right now, that's awesome. So thank you for being part of this channel. Have a great rest of your day.